Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. Today, joining the show is Andrew Bell. Andrew is very, very sharp when it comes to everything AI. I brought him on. We're going to be talking about Rufus today. We're going to do a little lab experiment where we'll bring it up on the screen. Andrew has been through, I think it was 100 products that he tested this on. So he's going to do a live demonstration here to help you get underway. So without further ado, Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Danny. Appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. All right. Do you want to give the audience a little bit of background on yourself?
Sure. So basically, I guess I can start with, I didn't even major in business. I majored in ancient Greek and preaching. Completely self-taught from every book in the shelf in Barnes and Noble, and every ebook I can get a hold of. To this day, I still read one ebook per day. And the more I learn about Amazon, the more, I think we just talked about it, the more I realize I don't know about Amazon. Formerly director of Amazon for Touch Glass, near 9-figure brand in luxury home decor. And now I'm the kind of head of Amazon, or Amazon lead for the National Fire Protection Association. Both my jobs have been in-house head of Amazon. So
excellent. Should we get underway then? What are you going to show us today? And then we'll get your screen up. Do you want to set it up and we'll put it up in the background, and you can give us a quick overview of what the show's about and what you plan over the next 20, 15,
So we're going to be talking today about Amazon Rufus, which, is AI assistant that helps with shopping. And I would define it as, it's designed to be everybody's personal navigator and educator of product experiences across Amazon. And I think one thing we can agree on with Rufus and how effective it's going to be versus other AI search engines when it comes to recommending products is that Amazon's always going to be better than all other AIs with finding the right product on Amazon. And I think having that in the back of our mind is extremely important.
Absolutely. All right, let's get rolling. Do you want to pull up your screen?
Let's do it.
So just while Andrew is pulling that up, he's got a new ebook that's going to be coming soon, which is going to be covering various different areas on AI, and he's got contributions from multiple people in the industry. We'll speak a bit more about that later. It sounds very interesting because it's going to be taking that extension on from studies and science literature and stuff, and then usable, actionable things in there that can be brought into play to use on, your Amazon business. So just adding to the stream now. So give us a run through how we're getting started with this. Let me just see if I can. There we go. There's a bit more screen real estate.
Very cool. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do an example product. So how exactly is Amazon Rufus used specifically on a product detail page? And what I'm about to show you is something that I tested 100 different times. Actually, I'm up to about 125 tests now. It began just late night when I was just experimenting. I thought, oh, this is cool. Then I just kind of kept going. Then before you know it, I'm up at 1 o'clock doing this thing. So one thing I wanted to show is everybody, I think, is familiar with these different questions that will show up on any given product detail page for a product, whatever it might be. But what we don't know is about how optical character recognition is used, which is basically
OCR, right?
OCR.
Do you want to break down? Yeah, break down the abbreviation. What is OCR? And how does that impact?
OCR is optical character recognition. Basically, it's like with any PDF or any image, if there's any kind of text on it, it's an ability with AI to be able to read that text, extract it, and to synthesize it into any kind of summary.
Yeah, most people on the show will understand recognition from AWS as well.
Okay, good. So here with Amazon Rufus, I found out it actually does this now. And it doesn't just extract that, it's able to extract the image based on the text that's relevant to the question being asked. For example, if I say, is this easy to use? So first it goes to product information. Then it goes to what several reviews mentioned. So it prioritizes product information. This is one thing I noticed with 100 products. It always prioritizes product information first. Then it goes, which, by the way, there's a lot of implications for that for product optimization, because most people would think, oh, customer reviews are taken into factor first. They are after the fact. So notice here it says based on product information, and it says that every single time, every product detail page where you ask a question like this.
Mhm.
And then it goes to customers agree, they are easy to use, and then several reviews, and then it goes to another review. And it says multiple reviews highlight. So it does emphasize reviews. So it goes from product information to customer reviews. Then in the meantime, it's extracting one of the lifestyle photographs, right? The graphics that is actually used in the listing itself.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating and gives us like a picture to the future of Rufus, that it's not just extracting product information
or the main image. It's basically saying, look, easy to use. So the text on the image there, as an example, may be wrong, is that they want to give the customer an action shot. Here is the product, and here it is in use, and it's extracted using the OCR, the words off the page, in order to serve the right information to the customer, right?
Absolutely. And there's huge implications for that with image optimization, I think, for SEO. And so SEO, the future of SEO is going to also rely upon text, the readability of text on these images, the resolution of the text on the images themselves. And like you said, bringing that in makes all the difference, I believe, in a customer purchasing. Now, it'll be nice to see when like an actual, all the conversational threads will be released, via API to show all of that in the same way that, Helium 10 or Jungle Scout, extracts different keywords. But one thing I've noticed too, and I guess this is what I'm going to, talk about in the ebook, is that even on Helium 10, it'll show that the questions are actually rising in rankings in search volume. And that's something that can be talked about another time. I just haven't done enough to be confident about.
I think we're starting to get into BERT territory, which I'm going to save because of conversational base, but we'll save that for another day. Let's focus on this.
Okay, perfect. So you'll notice it doesn't take from the main image. It takes from a lifestyle photograph that's in there. So if I go here, it takes from a photograph. It's not even the second one, it's the third one it takes from. So it's extracting text from an image that's 3 swipes away. Or on a desktop, it's the third image over.
Yeah.
And so any question that you have, so if, I were to say, for example, does this save space? It's going to bring up. So again, based on product information, it consistently says that. So it says the product description mentions compact dumbbell set is designed to be compact, seamlessly integrating into your home gym without taking up unnecessary space. So it's using verbatim quotes from product descriptions.
All right,
then
let's
it
look
has
at this
multiple
picture.
reviews.
Yeah, scroll up. Let's have a look at this picture now. Look, space saving, look, or save space.
Yep. Correlating directly to this image. Testing this across 100 different products, you'll see the same exact thing consistently. Because I didn't just test 100 products on one image. I tested 100 products on multiple images.
See, one of the things I'm doing at the moment, I'm just going to get a grip on it. It takes a bit of a while, but I'm training custom labels with machine learning, or AWS is doing it for S3 bucket combined with recognition. Because for me, I think that's the future as well, is that when you can't change the image, i.e. the lighting, change the text on the image if it's not the main image, and you're still coming up with the wrong labels in terms of where your confidence score, and it's completely unrelated. You can train, I think, as low as 20 images. And if you haven't got 20, one of the things that I played around with is that you can resize, change the colors, oversaturate, things like that to trick it. I haven't nailed it yet, but that's somewhere where I'm moving to optimize as well. But I've got to work out the yield Is it worth the squeeze? Do you understand?
Mm,
But looking at this, it does seem that way. But how do you scale it across 7 or 8 images per listing?
exactly. And it seems
Yeah.
like they've done it for every image. The more I
So
test,
text is a low yield to do, right? Straight in Canva, add the text, easy. But when it comes
oh,
to
it's
custom
super
labels, a bit
easy.
more.
All you have to,
There
yeah,
you go.
go to Canva. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And the number of creative services that are using Canva to put text in there and to optimize. And here's the thing, I feel like Amazon's AI is a little bit behind in terms of like Google actually, because Google for the longest time has actually been using, this for forever when
Yeah.
extracting images
Mm.
into, when it's filtered.
Yeah.
And then
Should we
even
run?
like, go ahead.
No. I'll let you finish. Apologies for cutting you off.
Oh no, you're good. So anyways, yeah, the ability to read multiple images like this is to me huge,
Mm.
and it makes all the difference. And people will use Canva like on their own site, and Google can crawl it and read the image and then extract it. And that's why a lot of times you'll see that image too, when you go to images in Google, but
Mm.
also when it's brought up through a keyword search on Google too.
Mm-hmm.
But Amazon, I think, is increasing, and I believe that it's going the same way in investing. And I believe this is why they might be partnering more with Pinterest,
Can I,
is because they did, I believe, last year, might have been the year before, is the
question
visual
for
AI.
you.
They're investing in a lot of visual AI, and I think we'll get a lot more into that when we talk about Merlin. But I think this directly correlates
Mm.
because, like right now, OCR, right? It's reading the text that's on the image and taking it.
Yep.
And soon it's going to be able to actually read the image. They're going to apply their visual technology where, you can like snap a picture
Mm.
with the camera and it'll take you to that product or a like product on it. So if I take a picture of my Celsius right here, it'll take me to the Celsius, and that's probably because it's reading the text first. But if I take an image of metal wall art, for example,
Mm-hmm.
it'll take you to a metal wall art piece that's almost just like it.
Yep.
And so I believe that technology is also going to be implemented within Rufus. As far as a timeline, I couldn't tell you, but I think this has significant implications for optimization on Amazon. Again, following the dynamic of product information, customer reviews,
Mm.
and then using even lifestyle photographs, showing it in action right there on the page.
Mm. Well, another thing that could do is actually go through a load of listings, do that, record a loom, and then run it through some sentimental analysis, and then see what the sentimental analysis picks up in terms of what you've spoken out loud and what's on the page as well. It's another way of finding, is it attributes, is it reviews? Well, no, it's reviews, but is it from the images? There might be some nuances that you could pick up from that in order, because
Yes.
like you've tested over 100, it's 120 now you've tested. There might be some other stuff in there that you hadn't seen quite yet to put some of the more of the pieces of the jigsaw together.
Yeah, that's very true. And I'm kind of wondering when you say that is if I ask,
I've lost your audio there. Yeah.
so here you go.
Yeah, go back. Can you scroll back up because your audio cut out? Let's see the
Oh,
question. Is it suitable for a variety of exercise beyond dumbbell lifts? It's only for listening back on the podcast, so there's more context. What's it saying based on this?
so is it suitable for a variety of exercise beyond dumbbell lifts? So it's basically going to attract, does it have a variety of workouts for comprehensive fitness? And then it shows something more, right? Well, what could happen is for example, I think this image could improve because if that's going to show up that way, why not in the lifestyle photograph show more workouts? Don't just say variety of workouts for comprehensive fitness. Actually, show it.
Yeah.
You know, so instead of just this image, you could have a lifestyle photograph of an image here cut out here of something else like dumbbells, bench press, or curls up here, and then something else right here. And then also have the text there.
Yeah.
Or if it's going to bring that up, just let the image speak for itself right here, here, and here with 3 different respective workouts, or just include the text across here. And that's something you can do simply in Canva.
So you've done the forward motion, as I would call it. You've gone and extracted the information there to get a better clarity of joining the dots, right? Images, how they're tying, what it says in the on the text on the images in related to the question or the answer, right? Imagine if you're doing research for listing optimization or launching a new product. To reverse engineer that, what route would you go down to use Rufus as a tool for your not just keyword research, but your market research, your niche research?
Yeah, I think that's an extremely good question.
If I put you on the spot, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I thought,
no, I love
while we're
it. I
doing
love being
this,
put on the spot. This is a lab session, right? Lab session.
absolutely. It's not about being right. It's about, can we get somewhere nearer the truth on
Well, I
stuff,
heard a
right?
NASA scientist speak. He said, you get into a room and you figure it out. Just, you know, you got to get those astronauts home, for example, right? And so what they did back in the day is they sat in a room and they sat there till they figured it out. And that's what we're here to do. So I think with this, like you said, if we were going to go to, let's say, beard oil, say, and I want to do market research for this. And I want to ask questions like, okay, see, it says great for softening and strengthening. And I would say, okay, is that image working here? And I go, is it good for strength? Notice again, based on the product information, it said that consistently every time. And then it shows this. So if I were selling beard oil, I would follow and put stuff like this on there to be able to show up in Rufus more often. But I would probably go beyond that.
As long as the beard oil ingredients were able to do that. It's like you got to be careful with saying growth if you've not got the right ingredients in there that does encourage growth. But then a lot of them will condition, soften, etc., won't they? So
yes. But then let's say like you click this and an image doesn't show up. That's an opportunity. So it says, does it scent linger longer after application? You could do a lifestyle photograph of that. And so we're going to find out here if it has one. And that's where you can meet a need in the market to say, hey, for this specific product, you can add a lifestyle photograph that shows something that the competition is. So see, nothing is mentioned. And I have a feeling it's because nothing is mentioned in the lifestyle photograph. And to prove that,
I haven't, this is on the spot. I haven't done this before, but ask the question, are there variants on the word beard oil? I'm looking for a beard that softens my beard like a conditioner. What are some of the words that would be used? I've never done this before, so I'm just throwing it out there. It may not even be programmed to accommodate that, but I thought it might be interesting because it might give semantic variations on it. So it gives people ideas for back-end attributes, or if there is any search, you know, if there's search for frequency rank, wash that against your brand analytics report, you know?
Yeah, no, that's good. Okay, so what should I ask it?
So ask it, what other alternative words are used for beard oil? Because I'm very specific in what I'm looking for, and just see what comes back. And then ask it, is that semantic? You know, we can go down then once we've opened with the wide question. It may not, the AI system backend may not be programmed to
Yeah, it might be against it, like, oh, but it'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, but I can answer questions about your product instead of that.
Yeah. This is on the hop. Never tried it, so I thought I might look really stupid.
Well, this is what we're doing. We're testing.
Exactly. Didn't answer it properly, did it?
No, it didn't.
What it's done is give you the ingredients.
Which is good because it's comprehensive here.
Hmm.
I say what? Well, maybe it means, for example, beard oil, argan oil. So that's like, if that's a specific one you're looking for, that's something you would put in the title or
Or
product
be
information.
direct. What are alternative words can I search for beard oil on? Just be direct. There you go.
Beard balm, beard treatment.
Balm's not an oil, but yeah, still.
So these are ones you can definitely use. And then, copy and paste it and say, hey, write a product description of this.
Yeah, I mean, you can't use balm because that's a different application. It's different from an oil. But if the person knows their product, that's fine. Let me have a look in there. But if we look at beard conditioner oil is another one. So because beard oil will be your lexical match, but then beard conditioner will be somewhere between semantic and possibly Bert, depending on the structure of the full phrase. Beard softener, beard balm, which is a balm, beard treatment, multi-purpose product designed to nourish the beard and skin. Grooming oils at times pretty wide. Facial hair oil specifically formulated for conditioning and caring for beards. Okay, yeah, sandalwood. But there's a lot of ideas there for uses and various different options on optional back-end attributes depending on the product, of course.
And we can put those here. If you put them here, that means they would show up. So I think the question is, do you always want some kind of lifestyle image to show up with a response? To ensure that, thinking about, okay, all these main attributes here in search terms need to be put into there. And so you're reaching a need in the market because I guarantee you, and it's true, there's not, like, I feel like there's more products than not. And I believe you said this on the show. There's more products than not that are optimized on Amazon. There's less products optimized on Amazon than there are optimized products on Amazon. And when it comes to lifestyle photographs, I think there is a huge need for that. And so if these words can be filled in somehow in some way within the lifestyle photographs, and that can show up every single time, I believe that's going to be crucial in, unit session percentage is just an equivalent basically of conversion rate.
Should we try another product?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do, I don't know, dog brush, classic, dog leash.
What did you say? What was the first part?
The dog leash. But let's think of about a question that we could ask. Maybe we could ask, because of new products, what is the latest available dog leash that appears under $14.99 or something like that?
Did you say dog leash?
Yeah. Or dog leashes, yeah.
Now, one thing I noticed with Rufus is initially, it typically doesn't give like the actual product detail page. It gives the search. So one thing I did was like, I dug down, I say, can you actually give me the product pages? So it says, I'm afraid I cannot share specific product pages or commercially sensitive information. But then when I dig deeper, let's see. That's interesting. Notice here, it's keeping me on this page.
Yeah.
So the contextual relevance I noticed is keeping everything here.
Yeah. So while you're asking
So
about
I'll
other
have to actually, it sounds like I have to actually go back.
yeah. Yeah, run that again.
And let's run this again. And let's do it straight from here.
Hmm.
Notice I looked at beard oils and it's already showing back up here.
Yep. So it's already remembering pre-questions and behavior, no matter where you are, within inside of the same search time period.
Yes. And it shows in Rufus too, just for clarification, that it remembers your chats up to 28 days and then it forgets it.
Okay.
From what I understand from the documentation of what, you know, it says Rufus is. When you ask, learn more. So I need a dog leash under 10. There we go. So notice it's actually showing a product detail page now.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, you asked, why is it bringing up the first one with only 3 reviews?
Well, because you asked for a new, we said new latest, new launched products, basically. We didn't use them words, but.
Well, I said I need a dog
leash
leash under $10.
Yeah, I think the original question, I need a new, what's the latest on new dog leash, wasn't it? We'd have to play it back. So maybe that's why they showed you one there, which has got 3 reviews because it's newly launched and it's remembered that part of it. What can we extract in there, do you think? By asking for the new, then it surfaces products. Can we click into that one and have a look? So 3 reviews. Variations. What's the date of review?
Oh, also one thing to note
seconds.
is Rufus appears here on every product detail page as well now. So Rufus is at every facet of the customer journey.
Yep.
July 22nd.
So it's not super new, or it hasn't had any reviews recently, as we're in today's date's October 24th.
It must be new probably before July 21st. That's so, I mean, I would consider that fairly new.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, not just like launched in the last few weeks new.
Right,
but
exactly.
It's within the 3-month period, 4-month period.
That would make me wonder, why would it have chosen that? Why this?
What do you know about attributes as well? Back-end attributes and how that relates. Have you turned anything up in searches? Because obviously we've worked with the OCR and that's clear. You've seen and identified the patterns there. But if you had a way of looking at from an back-end attribute in terms of uses and stuff, not all of them, but some of the optional fields were, you can have up to say 5 uses depending on the product.
I haven't tested that specifically.
What about this? Ask this question. What are the specific attributes that makes a great dog leash?
Do you think it's possible that the one with 3 reviews had more attributes than the ones with multiple reviews? like
without
thousands.
seeing, without having access to the back end is very hard, isn't it? Unless it was your own
It
product that
is,
you're
yeah, it is
testing and
hard.
then you see it come up or it's a client's product, whatever it may be. So basically there you've got a spec to break down to give to your factory if you're getting into this crazy market. But you can do
Yes,
that on any product.
you
What
can.
makes that question there, right, is what are the attributes,
The actual
specific
attribute.
attributes that make a great dog leash? You've
That's
just
a good
listed.
point, because I would say Rufus is
I'll tell you who
most
come up
willing
with
to
that.
read attributes that's spoken in its language, right? So
I'll
if it's
yeah,
saying that it's these things, it's going to look at those things more than likely.
yeah. I just want to give credit to, I know where I got it from. I just pulled it from the memory bank, but that was Jeff Anderson.
Oh, cool.
He did that, I think it was about 2 months ago. So shout out to Jeff Anderson. That's his thing.
Well, I don't want to get off topic per se here, but when you ask the question, what are 20 things you can do? So here it tells you there. So then it'll show you actually what it can do. And so figuring out
So
what
you have to
Rufus
ask the question twice.
Yes.
First it will gaslight you, and then the second time it'll give you answers.
Exactly. It's amazing how many times with AI it gaslights you, but it can easily be fixed by just another prompt, like just another message.
Yeah, it doesn't want to offend you and lose you as a customer, so it answers.
Exactly.
So what we got here, slow down a bit and go back to the top. So there's 20 things. Has Rufus AI shopping system created by Amazon, provide product recommendations, compare products side by side to help you make more informed decisions, answer questions about product features, materials, and specifications. Here's a question for you then. We've been obviously me and Juan have been covering a lot the patent, and when we talk about the initial priors, which is Amazon's initial guess before the data comes in to then calculate a Bayesian update to correct the posterior. So effectively what you've got is best guess, data, new estimate. Now, the initial prior, because there's priors and there's initial prior. The initial prior is new. So they need to make a calculation. And the way they do that based on the attributes of similar products that perform well, because it's in Amazon's interest. So with that in mind, let's ask, what are the key attributes that make successful on Amazon? And then when it comes back with a load of junk, we can be very specific and say,
what was that you said? What are the key attributes that make
a successful on Amazon? So we'll talk about the attributes in terms of in use and material and stuff, and then we can ask them other questions based on attributes, and then start going, well, does these products have attributes that you look at on the back of the listing that the customers don't see that helps you? Things like that, and then we start to dig a bit deeper.
This is interesting.
Go on. What's it say?
Well, first it says, I don't have access to provide the key attributes. However, here are some general tips. Now, I wonder if these general tips are based on how someone trained Rufus, or if these is just something that, GPT-4 could bring up as well.
Yeah.
But high quality images is number one. Giving a clear view of the product, use lifestyle images to show how the product is used, and then detailed product information. Provide comprehensive details about the product, like dimensions, materials, features. This helps customers make informed decisions, which is interesting because, for example, I know with some tools, it'll in sites, it'll suggest to do just very short bullet points. But here it's showing to give comprehensive details about the product.
Yeah.
So I think being as detailed and comprehensive as possible, the more likely you are to show up in the search on Rufus. I think we know that, right?
Yeah. And we
But
also
why
know around
prioritize? Go ahead.
we also know that most listings, or at least the ones I've seen on the back end, is optional attributes. Most are not completed. I'll say as far as 90%.
And if something's
And I
optional,
think-
let's put it in. But
Look
they
who's
should
here.
is the point.
Little superstars here. How you doing, kid? Juana's in the building.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. Just wanted to see if you're on a honeymoon period that I need to crash. So I decided to jump in.
So you crashed the honeymoon period. You got 2 hours, between 2 and 24 hours, and then we're off, kid. All right.
Yes.
Just to get you up to speed, we're just doing a little bit of a science lab session with Andrew.
I love it.
And if, do you want to feedback on anything as he's going through? We're trying to pick apart attributes at the moment and see what information we can extract. And we worked out that
Interesting.
Rufus gaslights you. You ask him the question and it gives you a load of deflected information. You ask it again because it doesn't want to offend you. It gives you the answer to what you want. So you have to ask twice. Look, give me 20 things. Go up, Andrew, and show the one before, just nonsense that they give you. And then you ask the same question again, then it gives you the answer.
So it's 3 times that you need to ask it the same question in order to pick up the correct
Twice.
Twice. And the 3rd time you get the information that you need.
Exactly. Now, and then one thing I did do is give me 20 more things you can do. Okay, gaslighted. Which it kind of gives answers in the form of search terms.
So this is all documented, right? I know. So guys, I would say maybe weekly, Andrew, I receive those video messages of your screen recorded about Rufus, and it's like, look what it does, look what I found, right?
Yeah.
Because so Andrew and I met at Accelerate this year in Seattle, right? And we started geeking around about Rufus and everything in regards to that. And that's how it all started. Yes. yes. So when it comes to Rufus, like he's the number one, most passionate person that I know about cracking the code on Rufus, I believe.
It's about getting to the truth.
Absolutely.
100%.
Right, what we got up next, kid? What you got? You going to throw in an idea? What question we're going to ask Rufus now? New mind at the table.
Yes.
New mind. What did you ask him until now? And apologies, I was not able to.
It's all right. I like to put you on the spot because you're too smarty pants. Let's go through the chat history, clear it. Yeah. Come on, kid. You got 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so as always, Andrew, should we test? So by the way, guys, flowers to Andrew. He's the one who sent me the Merlin paper, right?
Yeah.
And that's how we know it kind of sees the product itself. So did you try to test and explain,
Yes.
and get Rufus to explain the product type and information that it pulls from the listing itself in order to see how much it hallucinates, right? Because we know it does that.
Well, catch you up to speed. We worked on this. We did live demonstrations of this where we asked the question, is it suitable for a variety of exercise beyond dumbbell lifts? And it showed that, but we were saying one thing that we could fill in the gap of is we could put within variety of workouts, we could also put text across the image that actually said the new workouts.
Exactly.
Or showing more lifestyle photographs of that as well, while keeping the tag variety of workouts.
Because you would need a tag in order for it to pick it up quickly. quickly,
Right. Well,
right?
a tag in terms of just having text on the image itself.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Having a
Yeah.
label, a
Yeah.
tag
Right.
on the product itself, so it gets labeled. Okay,
Yes.
and it didn't pick it up, right?
It didn't pick up. The image didn't have it in there, was the point. Now,
Okay.
one thing we noticed too, to catch up to speed, is like on every single answer, and Danny can attest to this, it always says based on product information. It always goes to product information,
Always.
then customer reviews. Always. So far.
And then the community Q&A. That's always the order, right? And even if when you look at the blog post that we got, that you, by the way, found, a couple of weeks ago, it's the same order as always. It goes through the product details, then it goes to the reviews, and then to the community Q&As. So that's always the order that it picks it up. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to how well you have your product listing optimized for an AI to read it, right?
Which makes sense going down to here.
Okay.
Oops, I went to one of the beginnings of my.
You really tested it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's going to go through. I guess this is showing evidence that I'm going through everything.
We need material. I don't know. Did you break the news, Andrew?
Oh, the ebook?
About ebook? Yes. Did I just spoil it?
No. Danny had mentioned
I mentioned it. Yeah, I mentioned it as we were to as the screen was loading up with the app onto StreamYard. Right, we're getting up to around 42 minutes now. Is there anything more you want to cover, Andrew, or should we summarize what's just been happening?
Well, I think we should ask the question that you guys were wanting to ask it about, because we looked at this, for example. High quality images. Why does Rufus here put it as the first one? Now, it does say it's just giving general tips, but can we assume it's safe to say that the recommendations of what Rufus is saying would be better than any other AI, given that Rufus is trained on Amazon data? It says I don't have access to data provided the key attributes, but I can give you general tips. And it says
it was not trained to respond to this.
Yeah, it was not trained to respond to this, but it still gave the general tips, and it highlighted high quality images first, then detailed product information, then accurate titles and descriptions, then customer reviews, then competitive pricing.
And did you ask it if that comes in a specific order?
I didn't ask that.
Let's ask that now.
I think that would be what because it's kind of different than how we were trained to look at Rufus, which comes from product information, then the reviews, and then the Q&As.
And I have a follow-up question. We could say, I am a brand that sells on Amazon and I've got a new product launching. Can you give me some pricing bandwidth of what it will cost to sell X product that will allow me to be competitive? It may not answer, but then it may give a bandwidth in terms of, most products sell between this price range,
Yeah. That's a good one. So yeah, it's product description, the images, which again looks at it as part of the information about the product, because it kind of like reads it overall. Then it goes to customer reviews, and then to the Q&A. So there you go. We have it. That's the order, right? Exactly how
Mm.
they always mention it, even on the product detail page and even in the blog post that they shared with us.
And notice here, it doesn't say, oh, I can't have access to it. It just gives it as a matter of fact. A product detail
Because
page
it shows you the weight that it has and how it checks the information, because it's a back and forth, right? In weighting the information that it has on the product.
Yes, exactly. That's very true. And then it asks, oh, this is interesting. Look at these follow-up questions. What information do customers look for on a product page? What makes it trustworthy in a customer's eyes? Which one of these do you want to ask?
Top one.
Wow, look, detailed product information, description, high quality images. Oh, this is interesting.
There you go. Detailed technical
So it was
information.
built. Yeah. It was built on a pattern, I assume, at this point.
Let's try this. Why detailed product information? So here, okay, it breaks it down more.
Of course, it comes down to an informed decision, whether if it is what they're searching for or not.
Yes.
So what was the question that you wanted to ask, Danny? About pricing mapping in terms of a specific category?
Yeah, just say that I am already a brand, don't have to name it. Say I'm already a brand selling on Amazon. I'm about to launch a new beard oil, jojoba beard oil, and I'm concerned about the pricing. I want it to be competitive. What is the bandwidth of the best sellers? I mean, you can get that when you go to the pages, but we can dig deeper into that then. I'm just interested in see how far we can push Rufus on questions that benefit us more so than
what was
the
the
customer.
last part? I'm about to launch a new brand for beard oil.
No, I'm about to launch a new I'm a brand already selling on Amazon, about to launch a new beard oil, but I'm concerned about pricing to be competitive. What would you recommend to be the price point to match bestsellers and competing products of some kind, a variation on that?
Mm-hmm.
And then cut and paste it and ask it again if they don't give you the answer.
Okay. It did the same thing as last time. It said,
yeah,
I can't provide specific recommendations. However,
then we can cut and paste your question and see if it do it for the second time and see what it does after.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
Oh, because it refuses to respond the first time?
Well, it gaslights you the first time, then normally the second time it gives you what you want. It might not in this case, because it's not. This is more marketing led to research versus I'm looking to buy a product on Amazon. It's a different phrasing, isn't it?
Yeah. And it also might give you not so accurate information again, because it was not trained on that.
AI,
like average Joe. Yeah, doesn't go on Amazon to ask that. Doesn't have access.
Oh, what did I do this time? With this last one, what was I able to do to get that? What information do customers look for? Da, 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 da. What are the most important things? Okay. Yeah, it's not going to provide real-time pricing, which is interesting because we talked about how on Rufus here,
Yeah, I remember when you sent me this about
so here it shows
the
the
price.
graph.
Yeah,
so it looks like,
but in the questions, it has nothing about the pricing in the recommended.
right.
So it's not something that would pop up automatically.
It would not. But what they do is in the back end, I think, well, they have this show up on a number of product detail pages because when you first initially go to a new product with Rufus, let's say it's this one. Not showing up here. Usually it'll appear right here and it'll have like, what do it'll have these prompts. What do customers say? Does it protect? Da, 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 da. And then another one will typically be like pricing history.
The pricing history. Interesting.
Exactly.
Good. I'm thinking how that can correlate to, I don't know, influencing the buying decision, especially for Q4, right?
Yeah,
Because
with Black Friday, people will know if you're price gouging them or if you're really giving a good price.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where my mind went about that.
No, that's
from a
good.
shopper's perspective. Yeah.
Because if they really have that accessible and that becomes a prompt, I mean, people get whole apps just to research things like that, to find things like that.
Well, as a service provider or as a seller, you usually have all the tools that you need in order to get that information, to plan your next strategy, to understand what your competitors are doing, to understand the shifts in the marketplace, right? But from a consumer standpoint, and this comes from someone who is shopping on Amazon, I don't really check price history when I need to buy something on Amazon, right? And I think by the fact that I do that on a daily basis on my work and, from with my professional hat on, when it comes to me just purchasing stuff on Amazon, I never really think about utilizing tools that I have access to in order to find more information about that. But the fact that Rufus is incorporating this and it's making it accessible to everybody, again, especially since we are in Q4, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is approaching. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that changes even the purchase intent for sellers when they look at the sellers who, how do I say this, are trying to get more conversions with a pricing strategy that is kind of like strategic, okay, with a strategic pricing strategy, let's call it like that, right? Because at that point you can see the fluctuations in the pricing and maybe even look at patterns or when to buy the product, or again, it can really make a difference from a consumer standpoint, having access to that. But I think it will take some time until shoppers, the normal Joe purchasing on Amazon is interested in how pricing kind of like fluctuates for a specific product that they need, especially if it's something that it's a consumable or it's something that they need urgently. I think at that point, looking at the pricing history might not matter. But again, we are in Q4, despair, crisis for shopping presence is coming. We are all preparing for that. So at that point, I think that it might make a difference for those who pay attention to their financials, maybe, and trying to understand how much they're going to invest in gift purchases.
We know
this
there's
year.
millions of people that use apps just for that purpose.
Yes,
so bringing it right
exactly
to the user is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Guys, let's wrap here. Andrew, do you want to, let's take away a couple of parts from this, what we learned today, just as a roundup. So OCR, meaning behind it, what does it do?
Optical character recognition. It allows, basically, in this case, Rufus to read the images, lifestyle photographs that have text, labels, like we said, and bring those images to the actual chat.
Yeah.
So like if you say, is it easy to use? It brings up, for like a dumbbell, is it easy to use? It'll bring up that lifestyle photograph that has easy to use in the photograph.
Yeah. So it's more expansion on the images, thoughtfulness around the text, and is it answering pertinent questions, not only to the person that's looking at the image. I always say about images is that for all the testing I've done, is the terminology I would use for it is people are not looking for you to get your brand over per se. What they're looking for is a beautifully illustrated online user manual that meets the customer objections and shows the product in use. And that inclusive of the text that you use in the images, which is you're clearly stating now, is that tying with text, images, and how Rufus works. And it just doesn't just surface the main image. It goes back as far as what we've seen today, at least the third image in the deck, right? So the likelihood it will go back further. What can we learn from that? Well, maybe your action shot, because that's what it is, or the customer objection you're trying to solve, is it space saving? Maybe that should be the third image. Who knows? But it's something that you can test.
Absolutely.
And then
I think.
Yeah, sorry. And then I'll let you finish that. And then the next question will be some of the other things, product research and stuff.
I think what you said is Amazon Rufus designing to be everyone's personal navigator and educator of product experiences across Amazon. We talked about how Amazon will always do better than all other AIs, is finding the right product on Amazon and trusting that. And like we've seen, Rufus provides lots of actionable steps for optimization. In this case with OCR, really implementing that into our optimization strategies and seeing creatives also as SEO experts at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other things from memory was where you're asking the questions is important. If you're on the product detail page, then you seem to be locked into a groove there. So you have to go back to the homepage or the search results page, and the answers that you're getting back are going to be slightly different, or it's going to be more expensive because it's moved away from the particular product that you landed on.
It showcases Rufus is actually like the dog, is actually like walk with you, so to speak. Like you have him on a leash, he's walking with you, and he's giving you a personal education of the product experience, saying, hey, I know this product really well. I want to keep you within here. And I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah. And also we found that the best-selling products for, and you could insert whatever product that will be, top attributes of why they sell well, which basically you can summarize down into a list for maybe points of differentiation in some cases, and also putting together the spec for the factory. I need a product that does this, 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 and this, because it pretty much tells you what the best-selling things and the attributes of those physical products on Amazon.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's all starting with product information. I think the order of product information, customer reviews, then bringing up the lifestyle photograph is crucial. Consistently, every single example we looked through did that.
Excellent. And let's quickly chat about the ebook before you go. What's this about? When you say ebook, everyone goes, oh, not an ebook. But explain what it is.
It's not going to be a generation lead. This is something that could be paperback. So I think this is born out of the idea for me is when I was studying and self-taught for Amazon stuff and learning, right? I was at Barnes & Noble. There's not a single book other than maybe a history of Amazon book about Amazon on there. Not a single book at Barnes & Noble. And I'm thinking, man. And then anything I see, like these days especially, is like it's either poorly AI, generated kind of book, and it's unoriginal. But here we have an opportunity to bring Amazon science papers to bear. And then also we're going to bring the personal experiences and focus of different Amazon experts within the industry. I'm not going to give away the names, but there's some very, very big figures, if not the biggest figures in the Amazon industry, that are writing articles for this to show just how important Amazon Rufus is. It's not just some kind of trend. It's something that's here to stay. And everyone is to get on board with it, including the biggest keyword research tools out there.
Absolutely. Kid, what you got? Anything you want to finally add before we go?
I just want to say I'm glad I crashed into your podcast without being even invited. I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding, but no, it's incredible. I'm sorry I was not able to join from the start. I'm super excited for what's coming with Andrew. His idea on the ebook, I think it's amazing. And what I told Andrew is we kind of need to look at this as evergreen, because Amazon will continue to evolve. So that gives us the opportunity to kind of create like a time map of even the evolution, sort of what we did with the cold start, right? But try to get from the initial search, how that worked with the keywords, the lexical go to semantics, BERT, then, the Cosmo hysteria on common sense, and then they add Rufus, which kind of changes everything. And again, as I always say, we are still in the beginning. Like they literally, it's 4 months, only five months that we have access to Rufus, which is quite new. But excited for that. Early days.
Early days.
So that's
lots
a work in progress.
Yeah, we're all a work in progress, aren't we? Andrew, best way to reach you?
Say that one more time. I'm so sorry.
Sorry. What's the best way that people can slide into your DMs? What's the best way that can reach
don't
you?
email me. LinkedIn. LinkedIn DMs is great. Yeah.
Okay. Juana, best way to reach you?
As always, LinkedIn.
Lovely. Guys, thank you for your time and attention. We'll be back here again next week. Take care of yourself and your family. Much love, and I'll see you again.
I appreciate it.
Bye.
Thanks, Danny. I appreciate it. See you.
You're welcome.